Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it is November, which means it is the end of spooky season, which is such a bummer for me. If I could have it be October all the time, I feel like I would. But regardless, this is a horror channel, and I have a bunch of new horror-ish books here today in my haul that I would love to share with you. Before I get into that though, I do want to mention that I will be hosting a giveaway later on my channel, later this month. I'm not quite sure when, but definitely sometime between now and Thanksgiving. And I will be giving away The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. I'm very excited for that. I did just do my 1K giveaway since I was able to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is awesome. But I really actually like the holiday season. I know that Halloween is kind of my thing, and I don't really like Christmas in November, but once December hits, I'm very, very into the whole holiday thing. So I am planning a bunch of giveaways. I will still be giving away this copy of December Park, but I will be giving it away in December because December. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. But yeah, I can't believe I've gotten to 1,000 subscribers. I'm actually almost at 1.1 thousand subscribers, which is mind-boggling since I feel like I just hit 1,000. And it's funny because like I feel like as I've gotten more followers, I've also gotten like more nastier comments on some of my videos. So I just want to reiterate that I do this channel for myself because I love books, I love horror, and I like sharing my opinions on horror. And while I never want to invalidate anybody's opinion on what they love and what they like, let's not attack me or other people and their opinions in the comments on my section. I would much rather have a discussion. Also, this channel is a safe space, and it's very much a safe space for mental health as well. I use horror as an outlet to help with my anxiety and my depression. So let's not hate on people with certain mental health issues either, because those comments will be immediately deleted. I don't really care. I'm not going to put that kind of negativity on my page. However, I will say some of the negative comments I've gotten recently have been absolutely hysterical. I had this video from months and months and months ago about like the top 5 books I'm never going to read, where I talked about how much I don't like American Psycho and the fact that like Jared Leto is one of my least favorite actors of all time. And I got this comment that was like, you just lost a subscriber, like Jared Leto is my favorite person on the entire planet, like screw you. And I thought that was so funny. If you want to come at me for my opinions on which actors I love and don't like, whatever. I don't like Jared Leto as an actor. I'm sorry that pissed you off, but I thought that was so funny. I still don't like American Psycho. I don't like the movie, I don't like the book, so I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But let's keep things like very fun and fine in the comments. I want this again to be a horror community and a safe space where these are just opinions. My opinion shouldn't affect you. Like, I do this because I want to share what I like and what I love, and I have fun ranting about books I don't like, and I have fun gushing over books I love, so that is why I do this. But let's keep it nice. Sorry, Jared Leto. Very sorry. Yeah, anyways. So let's dive into my book haul. I don't have as many books as I normally would. I think I have 7 today. And I think they're actually all horror. I don't think I have any thriller in here. Maybe one's a thriller. And one is a nonfiction, but very, very, very related to the horror community. So let's start up. All right, so first up, I am so freaking excited for this one, guys. This is Cunning Folk by Adam Neville, the man who wrote The Ritual, and The Reddening, and No One Gets Out Alive, and Last Days, which I still haven't read. This is a first edition hardbound copy of Cunning Folk that I ordered off Adam Neville's website. And it is signed to me, but because I don't use my real name on YouTube, I'm just going to show you the signature. This is awesome. Came with a little bookmark. I am so excited for this. This is going to be folk horror. It's going to be fun. Let's read the inside. Okay. I'm not going to lie, I actually haven't really read what this book is about. I just saw that Adam Neville was releasing more folk horror and that you could get a signed, personalized book on his website, so I did. Alright, so it says, no home is heaven with hell next door. Money's tight, and their new home is a fixer-upper. Deep in rural southwest England, with an ancient wood at the foot of the garden, Tom and his family are miles from anywhere and anyone familiar. His wife, Fiona, was never convinced that buying the money pit at auction was a good idea, not least because the previous owner committed suicide, though no one can explain why. Within days of crossing the threshold, when hostilities break out with the elder couple next door, Tom's dreams of future contentment are threatened by an escalating tit-for-tat campaign of petty damage and disruption. Increasingly isolated and tormented, Tom risked losing his home, everyone dear to him, and his mind. Because surely only the mad would suspect that the oddballs across the hedgerow command unearthly powers, a malicious magic even older than the eerie wood in the strange barrow within. A hallowed realm from where he suspects his neighbors draw a hideous power. A compelling folk horror story of deadly rivalry and the oldest magic from the author of The Ritual, The Reddening, and 4 times winner of the August Derleth, I can't even say that, Derleth Award for Best Horror Novel. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. Look at this cover. Look at that pig. Ugh. Very excited. Okay, then I picked up Summer Sons. I heard about this book maybe a year ago when it was like first announced and put it on my like Goodreads TBR list or like want to read, whatever you want to call it. And then just totally like forgot about it. And then I saw a bunch of people posting about it online and I was like, oh my God, that book. I have to go pick it up. So let's read what she's about. Andrew and Eddie did everything together. Best friends bonded more deeply than brothers, until Eddie left Andrew behind to start his graduate program at Vanderbilt. 6 months later, only days before Andrew was to join him in Nashville, Eddie dies of an apparent suicide. He leaves Andrew a horrible inheritance, a roommate he doesn't know, friends he never asked for, and a gruesome phantom that hungers for him. As Andrew searches for the truth of Eddie's death, he uncovers the lies and secrets left behind by the person he trusted most, discovering a family history soaked in blood and death. Whirling between the backstabbing academic world where Eddie spent his days and the circle of hot boys, fast cars, and hard drugs that ruled Eddie's nights, the walls Andrew has built against the world begin to crumble, and there is something awful lurking, waiting for those walls to fall. I hope this is a ghost story. I don't actually know. I don't know who Lee Mandello is either, but I saw a lot of hype about this book, and I love the cover. And the concept just kind of speaks to me, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. All right, next up is The Death of Jane Lawrence by Caitlin Starling. Somebody actually recommended this to me in my comments, and I'm not fairly certain, but I suspect this might be the book in the Nightworms December 2021 box. I hope I'm wrong because I did buy this with my own money. So hope I'm wrong, but I think it might be this. But yeah, shout out for the recommendation on this because this sounds freaking awesome. Let's read about it. So, practical, unassuming. Jane Shoringfield has done the calculations and decided that the most secure path forward is this, a husband, in a marriage of convenience, who will allow her to remain independent and occupied with meaningful work. Her first choice, the dashing but reclusive Dr. Augustine Lawrence, agrees to her proposal with only one condition, that she must never visit Lindridge Hall, his crumbling family manor outside of town. Yet on their wedding night, an accident strands her at his door in a pitch-black rainstorm, and she finds him changed. Gone is the bold, courageous surgeon, and in his place is a terrified, paranoid man, one who cannot tell reality from nightmare and fears Jane is an apparition, come to haunt him. By morning, Augustine is himself again, but Jane knows something is deeply wrong at Lindridge Hall and the man she has so hastily bound her safety to. In The Death of Jane Lawrence, Caitlin Starling crafts a new kind of gothic horror from the bones of the beloved canon, set in a dark mirror version of post-war England. This Crimson Peak-inspired story assembles then upends every expectation set in place by Shirley Jackson and Rebecca, and will leave readers shaken, desperate to begin again as soon as they are finished. Alright, so Gothic, Crimson Peak, Rebecca. This book better be freaking awesome. I'm going to try and get this read either sometime in November or early in December. Can't guarantee that though because I've got a pretty big TBR right now, so slowly making my way through, and as you guys know, my October was nowhere near what I wanted it to be. So there's that. Okay, next up is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I'd heard about this a bunch, and I believe it was in my Horror XL box, an item inspired by this book from my Horror XL box from Unplugged. So I'm very, very interested in this. I also think the cover is absolutely gorgeous. So let's read what she is about. So, in the lands of Bethel, Where the prophet's word is law, Emmanuel Moore's very existence is blasphemy. Her mother's union with an outsider of a different race cast her once proud family into disgrace. So Emmanuel does her best to worship the Father, follow holy protocol, and lead a life of submission, devotion, and absolute conformity, like all the other women in the settlement. But a mishap lures her into the forbidden dark woods surrounding Bethel, where the first prophet once chased and killed 4 powerful witches. Their spirits are still lurking there, and they bestow a gift on Emmanuel, the journal of her dead mother, who Emmanuel is shocked to learn once sought sanctuary in the wood. Fascinated by the secrets in the diary, Emmanuel finds herself struggling to understand how her mother could have consorted with the witches. But when she begins to learn grim truths about the church and its history, she realizes the true threat to Bethel is its own darkness. And she starts to understand that if Bethel is to change, it must begin with her. Y'all know I love a good, old school witch story. So I'm very, very excited for this. I hope it impresses me more than Slewfoot did, because I had high hopes for Slewfoot and that one let me down. But I've heard a ton of chatter about this book, so I'm very, very excited to finally get to it. And so I might be wrong, but I think Cindy Wingett, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, I'm really, really sorry, but I think that's who recommended The Death of Jane Lawrence to me. They also were kind enough to send me their book. This is The Fall of the House of Crane. From what I've heard, it is a nice, love letter mashup to The Fall of the House of Usher, as well as The Haunting of Hill House. So let's read the back. It says, Dr. Montague is on a mission to uncover the truth behind the afterlife, and Hill House is where he'll find it. The 80-year-old mansion's warped exterior hides his soul, just as gnarled and twisted. With his 3 assistants to help him discover the source of the house's supernatural forces, Dr. Montague intends to live inside the crumbling building until he has the proof he needs. But when they hear incessant knocking on the walls at all hours of the night, a bloody message is found scrawled across a wall, and a friend begins to go mad. Dr. Montague fears he is in over his head. He calls his ex-wife for help, who is an accomplished medium, but that only seems to awaken the house further. Can he unmask Hill House's secrets before it drives him insane, or will he become one more casualty to its horrors? So I'm very excited to read this. I should be getting to this one this month, I believe. If not, it will be very early December. But yes, thank you so much for sending this to me, Cindy. I really, really appreciate it, and I cannot wait to read this one. Okay, this is my only nonfiction book on this list. I found this at Politics and Prose, and I thought this looked awesome, and it's called A Very Nervous Person's Guide to Horror Movies. And I love the cover. The cover is so funny. I'm the worst person to watch horror movies with. I don't do well with jump scares at all. I can read scary books and be like, yeah, totally cool. There's very few books that have genuinely terrified me. There's so many movies where a single pop out will just scare the shit out of me. I'll never forget, I think I was 17 when this movie came out, but I went and saw Insidious, the very first Insidious, and it had been getting all this buzz. So when we went to the theater, it was opening weekend or something, every single seat in the theater was taken. And this was back in the day where there was 100 seats in a theater, not 25 recliners. And my best friend and I had to sit in the very, very, very front row, which if you've ever sat in the very front row of a old school normal sized movie theater, you're sitting like this the whole time. And so we're sitting like that, and it was already scary, already unnerving. And what's his name? I think it's the lipstick demon in Insidious, that pop out where he's in broad daylight, right behind the main guy. I lost it. I have never made such a startled jump in my life, and I had a hoodie up. I was I do not do well with jump scares in horror movies. I'm the absolute worst. So I'm very excited to read this. Let me read the back for you. Films about chainsaw killers, demonic possession, and ghostly intruders make some of us scream with joy. But while horror fans are attracted to movies designed to scare us, others shudder already at the thought of the sweat-drenched nightmares that terrifying movies often trigger. The fear of sleepless nights and the widespread beliefs that horror movies can have negative psychological effects and display immorality make some of us very, very nervous about them. But should we be concerned? In this book, horror expert Matthias Claassen delves into the psychological science of horror cinema to bust some of the worst myths and correct the biggest misunderstandings surrounding the genre. In short and highly readable chapters, peppered with vivid anecdotes and examples, he addresses the nervous person's most pressing questions. What are the effects of horror films on our mental and physical health? Why do they often cause nightmares? Aren't horror movies immoral and a bad influence on children and adolescents? Shouldn't we be concerned about what the current popularity of horror movies says about our society and its values? While media psychologists have demonstrated that horror films indeed have the potential to harm us, Klassen reveals that scientific evidence also contains a second story that is often overlooked. Horror movies can help us confront and manage fear and bring us closer together. Oh, I'm so excited for this, guys. Very, very excited. Okay, and last but not least, y'all know I love The Chestnut Man. I'm always raving about The Chestnut Man. And I think I found this right after I'd fallen in love with The Chestnut Man, and I realized how much I liked Let the Right One In. Oh, I wanted to look at some more like Nordic noir authors, and I found this. I've seen this talked about briefly on Reddit. I've seen this really lauded on Goodreads. But this is I Remember You by, oh wait, her pronunciation is on the back of the book. Her name is Ursa Sigurdardóttir. According to the back of the book, that's how you pronounce this name. Ursa Sigurdardóttir. And this is supposed to just be an absolutely terrifying ghost story. So I will read it back. Oh, and it says, right on the front, in this terrifying tale, 3 friends set to work renovating a rundown house in a remote, totally isolated location. They soon realize they are not as alone as they thought. Something wants them to leave. Meanwhile, in a nearby town, a young doctor investigating the suicide of an elderly woman discovers that she was obsessed with his vanished son. When the 2 stories collide, the shocking truth becomes horribly clear. In the vein of Stephen King and I always say this guy's name wrong, John Ajvide Lindqvist, guy who wrote The Right One In. This horrifying thriller, partly based on a true story, is the scariest novel yet from Ursa Sigurdardóttir, who has captivated the attention of readers around the world with her mystery series featuring attorney Thora Gudmundsdóttir. Now Ursa will stun readers once again with this out-of-this-world ghost story that will leave you shivering. I've heard this is like super unnerving and creepy and just very, very well done. So I'm so excited to read this. I really, really, really love like Nordic noir. I think I'm gonna actually do a whole video on some of my favorite Nordic noir authors after I've read a few more, I think, just to round out the video. But yes, I'm very, very, very excited for that. So yeah, those are all of the books that I have for y'all today. I'm so, so, so excited. I know this was a smaller haul than I usually do. I'm hoping to have a bigger haul for my January haul. I try and do these hauls every 2 months, but I don't really go out of my way to buy books. It's just kind of what I accumulate as time goes on. So take that as you will. But I'm so excited for all of these like upcoming releases, and 2022 I will have a whole video on all of what I'm excited for. So I expect to be, you know, hauling some more books really, really soon. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. As always, I post every Monday, Thursday, and sometimes on Saturdays. If you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Helps me out so much, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Mwah!